Hello everyone! Today I want to talk about Zoom dates. What to expect if you have scheduled a Zoom date with a lady. Why are we touching this topic? Well, it's not a secret that now we provide our clients with Zoom dates if he and the lady we introduce him to lives 2 hours and more apart from each other. So it makes sense to actually have a Zoom date if she is located in Prague and he is located in, let's say, Los Angeles or New York. Of course, if they are located both in Europe and it's just a 2-hour drive, we strongly recommend to actually meet in person offline for the very first date. So what to expect if you have scheduled a Zoom date? Pretty much same rules apply as to an ordinary, traditional, classical offline date. The biggest mistake that both men and women often make is treating a Zoom date as a sample, not a real date, something that they shouldn't get ready to, as something insignificant. They believe that, okay, it is a formality, and after this Zoom date we will meet in person, after this Zoom call we will meet in person, and then I will do my best to actually catch her interest, to catch her attention. First of all, change your attitude. Don't call a Zoom date a Zoom call. Call it a date, regardless if you are doing it on Telegram, WhatsApp, any messenger. We are talking about a video call now. I think several weeks ago I have filmed a video for you how to set the right mood for the date, and unfortunately people haven't actually watched it, and it is a shame. And I know that usually men, they love watching videos about age gaps, how to date younger, how to win her over with a hello, when to have sex with the lady, and like getting ready for the date. I don't need that. I don't need to set the right mood, and here they are totally wrong. The way you will prepare yourself to the date will influence drastically your attitude. I will open a secret to you. A successful date for 48% consists of your smart attitude, healthy attitude, and for 48% it consists of her attitude, and 4%, well, that's just pure luck. Add to this combination nerves, because usually a first date, regardless if you are talking on Zoom or you are meeting offline, it is a stressful experience. So I would say stress would take 30% of excitement off your date. So if you have this stress factor and also you have under-delivered the right attitude, well, your date from the very beginning is kind of doomed, because you won't be able to build the necessary excitement, necessary interest. A very important rule that applies both to offline and online dates, Zoom dates or video dates, is to skip expectations. I don't try to encourage you right now to lower the bar. Actually, I encourage you to build smart dating strategy and to approach your dating search in a smart, efficient way. People ruin many dates that actually have potential to blossom into something with having too many expectations, putting too much pressure on this date. They expect some insta chemistry, insta connection, they expect butterflies in the stomach, they expect a special sparkle, and they expect that the date will be very special, very different, like nothing they have experienced before. People usually get stressed on the first date. It is a stressful experience, but however, you can tell me right now that you have met women and they act really confident, and they know how to grab your attention, they give you compliments, they know how to pique your interest right on the first date, and usually such men and women, they are serial daters, because you know what, dating, it is a skill, and to build it you have to go out on dates. And of course, if for her it is the date number 8 or 10 this very week, then she feels more relaxed, because she has been doing it for months, for years, and she has built lots of confidence and experience. Of course, there can be exceptions. For example, she's a salesperson or she's a university professor, so she knows how to deliver interesting facts or to tell interesting stories in a fun way, captivating way, or like all salespeople, they know how to sell themselves. There can be exceptions. For example, she's a professional actress or she's a professional dancer, and I have worked with several ballet dancers, and you know, when they communicate with you, the way they move their hands, their necks, it's like dancing. Even off stage, they act like on stage. But if we're talking about the majority of people, first date, it's a stressful experience because we all want to be liked, and we don't know how to approach a guy in front of us, or a man doesn't know how to approach a lady in front of him because, well, he's not a serial dater, and perhaps his last first date has happened several weeks or months ago, so he doesn't have this confidence to be super confident. He doesn't know which topics to bring up. If a person is a really smooth dater, then usually it's because this person has lots of experience. Men often fall for this flattery when the lady likes everything he says. She laughs at all jokes. He tells him what he wants to hear. She tells him things like, you know, age is just a number, or I don't care much how the man looks like, and she's telling him all this on the very first date. Why is she doing that? For a normal lady who is actually serious and who is looking for a life partner, usually when she goes out on a first date, especially if the age gap is involved, she will try to test it, whether she feels this age difference, whether she is comfortable with it, because sometimes when we encourage a lady to go out on a date with our older client, who for example is 10 or 15 years older, of course after the date, the first thing that the lady will share with us is like, you know, I felt the age gap, or I didn't feel the age gap. Not so long ago, we have introduced our 36 years old female member with our 52 years old male client, and he's really an affluent, smart, I would say very charismatic man, and he wants to date younger, and she was the youngest of the ladies we have introduced him to, and after 2 dates she said that, yes, Svetlana, just like you have described, he is intelligent, it is interesting to talk to him, he is well-traveled, he had this energy of the business person, but he is old, and during the whole date I felt it that he is older, and I couldn't imagine holding his hand or leaning into him. Like, I felt it that he is older, and I felt this distance, I felt it that we are like years apart. But if the lady goes out on a date with you, and regardless if you are talking on Zoom or you are talking offline, and right on the first date she starts telling you things that, you know what, age is just a number, I don't care about age. Well, she didn't even test the age gap thing yet, and already she tries to flatter you. Why? If we are talking about Zoom dates, pretty often people don't treat them as dates, and therefore they don't build necessary excitement, necessary anticipation, and at the end of this conversation, it's just a conversation on Zoom, and they tell it, oh, I didn't like the lady, because his attitude was wrong from the very beginning. Or for example, the gentleman didn't prepare himself, or he was talking with his colleagues, or he was working, and 3 minutes prior to his Zoom date, he has switched to another window on the computer, and this was it. And he didn't have enough time to actually switch his mood and to bring his excitement back about talking to a lady. Treat a Zoom date as an offline date. When you actually flirt, you listen to the lady, you share stories, you share jokes, you compliment her. It is really important because this is the moment you start building your first impression. Not when you meet offline, when you have just texted her for the very first time, or when you actually had your first phone call or your first video call. I recommend all our male clients to actually use this trick, but very few do it, very few implement what the matchmaker and dating coach actually says to them. They think that they know it better, even though they have been single for a long time, so perhaps it is a signal that they should listen to the matchmaker and dating coach. So I recommend gentlemen to start a Zoom date or a video date with the lady by mentioning that of course he would prefer to ask you out on a real date, on a real dinner or lunch date, but for now they will have a Zoom date. So hopefully the next date will be offline, and it is important to mention it because for a lady it is truly important to hear that you are serious about getting to know her, that you actually want to meet her offline, that it is not just an online romance, it is not just a long distance fling, and you actually plan to meet her. A Zoom date, any video date, it's a great chance to actually practice flirting, to talk to a lady and to ask questions and listen to the answers. Because of course when we go on dates offline, we have this atmosphere. For example, if it is a candlelight dinner, it adds to the romance, and you can have some wine, you can have a walk after the date, and it all adds special atmosphere to the date. But at the end of the day, it's all about getting to know your partner, your date better, and to let her get to know you better. So you can actually do it by video too. Same rules applies. After you had a Zoom date or a video date, you should text a lady and thank her for the date. And call it a date, don't call it a call. Thank her for the date, tell her that you had a great time talking to her, and schedule another call if, for example, you won't be able to meet straight away. I hope it was helpful. I want to wish you only successful dates, regardless if you're having them offline or online. Svetlana Muha, especially for Diolli.com from Munich, Germany. And of course, I encourage you to press like, to sign up to our channel, and to consider to become a sponsor to get access to extra videos that we film specially for Diolli.com sponsors. I will see you in the next one. Bye!